Each and every one of us has an unlimited inner wellspring of spiritual power. You have the ability to transform, create, and heal anything upon which you set your heart and mind. Join me, Sarah Hall, as we learn how to uplift all aspects of your life through spiritual empowerment. Enjoy weekly guided meditations, spiritual discussions on a multitude of topics, and a chance to call in to receive channeled messages from the angels on your spiritual journey. I'm Sarah Hall, and this is Through the Eyes of the Angels. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm going to be sharing messages from the angels on exactly how to achieve self-empowerment. According to the angels, this is a big, important step in spiritual awakening, because when you step into your true God-given power, you're also innately seeing divine truth. And in perceiving and experiencing truth, all good things can come to you, and you access higher consciousness. So let's talk about exactly why that is. So first off, we must establish and internally accept and trust in the divine truth that we are one with the universe, one with each other, and one with the divine source of all that is, one with God. We are contained within the divine mind of the all. And just like a big fractal, like being part of a fractal, we are individualized replicas of a greater whole. We are one, realized within many. According to the angels, you contain all that God is, because God's exact substance and essence is what gives consciousness and life to you. That which we call God is infinite and absolutely unlimited, capable of creating, experiencing, and becoming anything endlessly. This is the miraculous and incredibly mysterious power of existence. I don't know about you, but the fact that anything exists and that reality is happening at all often leaves me totally awestruck. So, this divine power, this miracle, it is inside of you. And because it is unlimited, so are you too. The angels have often shown me this particular visualization. Imagine a seed of light at the center of your heart. The light that pours from it imbues every cell of your body and every particle of your energy and consciousness. When you approach this seed of light, imagine it now becoming a doorway that leads directly into the center of all existence, into the heart of the universe, or multiverse if you prefer. A direct passageway that leads into the divine source, the mind of the Creator. God is, in other words, and a different way of describing this, intimately accessible inside of you, within you always, closer to you than a breath or a heartbeat, and more intimately wrapped around and through everything you are, think, or do, more intimately than anything else in existence. God is totally one with you, and you are totally one with God. There's no separation. And this divine mind of the all, if there's nothing outside of it because it is all, then it must create with itself, with its own essence. So what is its essence then? Remember, it is a divine mind, and the essence of mind is consciousness. So the divine mind creates mentally through conscious imagining, focusing, expansion, and free-flowing will. And what is the essence of consciousness? Well, according to the angels, it is love. The force that we prize above all things, this most craved state of being, feeling, and living, love, the thing we recognize as so valuable and so powerful because it is the essence of consciousness. It is the essence of God, the essence of truth. It is the realization of infinite potential. And that's why we're all so drawn to love. So ask yourself now, where does my power come from? Your true power is God's power, since you are inseparable from it. And God is within you. You are one with God now and always. So your power comes from within you. And if the true essence of the consciousness of God, and therefore the consciousness of all, is love, then love is your power. The power that flows infinitely from within you. One of the biggest things the angels have been guiding me to do over the years, in which I have worked with them, is to teach people empowerment. Because a common thing that can occur in a human life is that we try to give our power away, hide from our power, deny our power, and create illusions that make us think we can shrink down and somehow be something other than what we truly are. The human ego is the false self, the self of illusions, right? And this false self is essentially afraid of your true self. In other words, it's afraid of God within you, because if ego were to stand before God, like a shadow exposed to the light of the sun, it would dissolve, surrender itself, and become light, become one with God. So, since the ego fears this, the ego does everything in its power to try to convince us that we are in fact not powerful. If the ego can succeed in divorcing us from our power, it can temporarily seem to convince us we are not one with God. And then the ego's lifespan seems to be extended. When we live under the illusion of separation, what happens is we end up looking for power and love everywhere but inside of us, because we don't remember that we already are everything that we're looking for. We end up looking for power in illusions and conditions created by the ego's own perspective. We look for power in outer forces, such as money, possessions, appearances, acclaim, and reputation. Outer accomplishments. And, the worst one is when we look for our power in the opinions and judgments that come from other people's egos. You think it's hard controlling your own ego? Try chasing after someone else's. It's futile. It's pointless. And so long as we are chasing power, we're chasing after wholeness, and in essence, we're looking for love, since love is truly the only thing that we ever want and that we're ever seeking in everything that we do, no matter what it is. And we're looking for these outside of us. So long as we're doing that, we'll keep reinforcing and recreating the illusion of separation and powerlessness. So today, the angels and the beings of light who watch over all of us would like to invite you to put aside your focus and attachments to these outer things. Let go of the opinions of other people, the perfectionism that makes you feel like you have to earn love, when in truth you are love, and love is yours unconditionally simply because you are. Let go of conditional self-love and conditional fulfillment, because you won't find who you truly are or claim your true infinite power by chasing after the next big paycheck, the next possession you buy, the next relationship, etc., etc. At least not directly. Sometimes chasing after those things causes us to suffer enough that we glimpse ourselves in the mirror and delve within ourselves. But that's a matter for another day. Today, the angels want to give you the blueprint for self-empowerment, the direct path. And it's a simple one. Very, very, very simple. It does not require you adding anything to yourself, trying to achieve or change the essence of what you are. Your true self, and therefore your true infinite power, joy, and well-being, are already yours, already within you. So, realizing it requires an act of releasing all that you are not in spiritual truth and accepting all that you are. It's as simple as that. And what you are is love at the core essence. So, the first step to empowerment is to love yourself. That's the core of this blueprint, this map to self-empowerment. Love yourself. If God is within you, and love is the realization of God, then the most intimate and powerful thing that you can do right now in order to touch and embody God and therefore truth is to love yourself. Love yourself, and you open the doorway that leads straight to the heart of the universe, straight into the divine mind. Love yourself, and you allow the infinite wellspring of truth and power that flows from the mind of God to flow through you. Love is amazing like that, in that it naturally gives you everything you need in order to realize divine truth, in order to access all the wisdom in the universe. Love, that's how you unlock it. So loving yourself is self-realization, essentially. It is the realization of the divine truth of who and what you are, and therefore it's also your way of giving yourself access and permission to reclaiming what you are in truth. To accomplish miracle-working self-empowerment, love yourself. Begin by loving yourself radically and unconditionally until love has reclaimed every single corner, every particle, every aspect of your consciousness. Let love reclaim everything that egosphere once held on to, falsely making you believe that you are somehow not worthy of love and power, or not perfect enough, or that it's not possible, or that you needed to work harder or be better in some endlessly unattainable way in order to earn what you already are. Love yourself so constantly that when the light of your love shines upon you, all shadows instantly have to dissolve, surrender and become the light. That, my friends, is what it truly means to be a light worker. To love. Because when you love, when you embody and become love, it's impossible, if you're doing it 100%, to give away anything but love. Those who give away suffering, those who cause others to feel pain, to be hurt, they can only do that if they themselves are suffering. When you hold radical love within you, love that you don't put any barriers or conditions upon, but literally imbues and touches everything, then you'll only have love to give away. And love is miraculous. So love, beginning with you so that you can enter into love's infinite abundance, because it is infinitely abundant. And then let that infinite love abundance to expand out and touch everything that you see and experience in this world. That is your power. That is your miracle. And learning how to hold that state of consciousness, that's what spiritual ascension really is. It's a releasing of all that you are not and a reclaiming of all that you are. And in doing this, and standing in the truth of who and what you are, you also have the power to see the truth everywhere. Love is amazing because with it, anything is possible. It reveals truth, all wisdom. All of it becomes accessible to you. Now, as an aside, just need to note this here. When people talk about ascension, and maybe they start giving you a lot of convoluted ideas about the fifth dimension, downloading codes of light and changing your frequency and upgrading your DNA and star seeds and blah, blah, blah. It's not that they're necessarily totally wrong. And it isn't that they're, necessarily coming from a not well-meaning place. I'm sure they're coming from a well-meaning place. And oftentimes there are some grains of truth in what they're showing us. It's just that the answer is so much simpler than all of that stuff. They make it sound like you have to go on a trip to outer space and become something you aren't in order to ascend, quote unquote, into higher consciousness. But nothing could be further from the truth. You already are the truth. You have always and will always hold the highest consciousness in the universe inside of you. And the steps to accessing and realizing this don't necessitate vibrating off the planet into some star child light code nonsense beam. The steps to realizing and embodying the highest consciousness in the universe are simple, intimate, and very straightforward. The answer is, and always has been and always will be, love. Love radically and unconditionally, and you liberate all that you are into the realization of your true unlimited power. And sure, realizing what you really are and embodying that truth and love and power and believing it fully can certainly result in your seeing that you are a multidimensional being, in experiencing that you can communicate with spiritual beings, that your DNA is always upgrading to incorporate the new information and consciousness that you choose to hold in it, and lots of other exciting stuff like that. But remember, those are just the bells and whistles. It's like a dress with too many ruffles on it that hides the curves of the body wearing it to focus on all of that other stuff. It can sometimes obscure or distract us from the true point and simplicity of this spiritual realization of what ascension honestly is. So don't give your power away to anything outside of you. Not even dazzling pseudo-spiritual narratives that sound like exciting science fiction novels. If you want to think about all of that other extra stuff, fine. I actually like to ponder things like that too sometimes. I think that those are very interesting, exciting things. It's great to think about the possibilities, but don't let it distract you from your true spiritual purpose, from the true spiritual embodiment of your inner power, from the true actual ascension, which is, again, simply to hold the consciousness of love. It's as straightforward as that. It'll never be more complicated. That humble human work of embodying love, which for most of us can be a lifelong practice, should be a lifelong practice. That's the true miracle. And honestly, also, it's the true prerequisite to having any kind of genuine understanding or experience of these other fancy, shiny, multidimensional starseed, light code, DNA, blah, blah, blah things. So just keep your sight fixed on the power within you. Don't outsource. And work to realize that power every day through the simple path of embodying love. Love yourself. Trust in and believe in the power of love and therefore your unlimited power. And power will appear, flowing unhindered through you out into everything that is your existence. Now, the angels have just one more important reminder for us on the path of true spiritual empowerment. They want us to remember that when you see yourself for what you truly are, when you allow love to transform all that you hold in your consciousness, you will see that God did not create a world of suffering or lack, did not create you as a being who is meant to languish in separation, lack, or suffering. You will see that in truth, eternal safety, peace, and well-being is always yours, and that this can never be revoked or destroyed. A gift given by God can never be ungiven. It's not how it works. The only reason we perceive and seem to experience suffering at all is because our consciousness believes it is possible and perceives a separate self. To perceive a separate self is to create a world of separation, chaotic disconnect, lack, and fear. To awaken from the illusion, the angels will never cease in guiding us to remember that we are love, we are one, and we are infinitely powerful. So call on your angels for help in totally embodying this, holding it sustainably and unconditionally. That's your ascension right there. So let's practice holding this awareness together now in our meditation. So go ahead and give yourself a moment just to go ahead and get comfortable in a nice, relaxed environment if you're in the right space to do so right now. And then when you are ready, you may close your eyes and take in several long and deep healing breaths. As you breathe deeply, notice that your entire body begins to calm and relax. You can feel the gentle, quiet rhythm of your heartbeat as it sends signals of restful relaxation into every cell of the body, every muscle, every joint, every nerve. Now surrendering, resting and floating in quiet peace. With your next long and slow deep breath, Allow that beautiful peace and well-being to flow from the body into the mind. Noticing a gentle layer of calm and stillness covering every thought and every feeling within your consciousness, like a thick, beautiful blanket of snow in the quiet woods. Every particle of your thoughts and feelings begin to expand out, slowly and quietly drifting out into the universe. And you can feel pure presence flowing up from the essence and core of your soul. Pure, quiet observation. The quiet realization of I am resonates forth from the center seed of your being out into the universe now. Breathe deeply, observing as your presence becomes illuminated with divine light. As you rest in a plane of existence that is pure light. A circle of angels and teachers in the light gather around you, offering support and holding space around you as you now claim your power and truth. With your next slow, deep, and gentle breath, silently affirm, I am infinite love. I am therefore infinitely powerful. I claim my true power now. And so, I vow to love myself unconditionally. With love, all things are possible. I am that love, now and always. Breathe deeply and allow these affirmations to ping down deep into the core seed of your soul, strengthening the beacon of light and truth within you. Breathe deeply as conscious pathways are forged through these affirmations and truths down into the divine truth. The beacon of light within you grows brighter and brighter with every breath you take. With your next deep, healing breath, visualize and feel as your inner light dissolves all the layers of your identity that did not serve love and therefore truth in the past. The light dissolves and gently burns these away easily. Breathe deeply and allow yourself to feel how truly safe it is to release the past. How safe it is for you to see who you are in truth now. Your beautiful inner divine light and divine presence now flows from all that you know to be you, through every thought and feeling, into every area of your life, every experience. Observe as all becomes illuminated in the light. And with your next deep, healing breath, you may silently affirm, I allow infinite possibility to flow through all that I am and all that I experience, now and always. I give myself permission to create with love's infinite possibility. I claim divine power now. And so it is. With your next deep, healing breath, feel and allow yourself to perhaps even see as the angels channel a beautiful sphere of light around you, as they help to guide you, to share and to contain this beautiful realization. Give the angels permission to teach you now and forever on this path of becoming the consciousness of love. You may do so now by gazing into the hearts of the angels, feeling their presence, and affirming, yes, teach me and guide me. with your next deep breath, draw that beautiful divine presence and light into your body. And on your exhale, feel your energy and your focus grounding back into your physical body and into this physical present moment. Feeling solid, feeling alive, awake, 100% present and aware. With your next deep healing breath, we'll gather in that light and presence once more. And then with your next exhale, you may gently open your eyes and shift your focus back into the room, into the present moment. Very, very good. Thank you so much for sharing with me in that beautiful spiritual practice. I definitely invite you to practice this regularly, and even to invite in the angels into all of your running thoughts throughout every single day, so that you can really notice what your relationship with yourself is like. Is love really the leader there? What is your relationship with the world like? Is love the leader in your perspective and what you're experiencing? Invite the angels in to expand your awareness of all of these things so that they can guide you, again, to anchor, to hone, to do the humble work of creating love in all of those facets of seeing and being. So now is our time for taking your questions and giving some angel messages. And I do see that many of you have submitted reading requests already, but if you haven't and you would like to, you can simply go to the Bring Me to Life chat box at bringmetolife.com/Sarah Hall and type in your question there. So with that, let's go to our first reading. Let's see. Okay, we have a reading request from Molly. Molly says, I'm curious if there are any messages from my ancestors, spirit guides, or any of the angels that Sarah could share with me. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with us, Sarah, and thanks to the Bring Me to Life Network. Oh, thank you, Molly. That's so kind of you. It is my honor to share all of these things. So let's go ahead and tune into the angels and see what they have to offer you today. Okay, I do see a wide circle of guides that are around you. And that definitely includes ancestors. I do see some animal guides and even elemental guides. So that means earth spirit guides that are around you. You do have angels around you as well. So you have quite a beautiful team of spiritual helpers that are there with you. And one thing that they're showing us is that you have a real gift for bringing joy into the world, Molly. A real gift for that. You have the ability to really be able to make people smile. They're showing us creativity inside of you. And I'm hearing your ancestors saying you're smart as a whip. You've got a loved one in heaven that's saying that particularly feels like an older female, perhaps maybe a grandmother or someone like that, maybe a great-grandmother. As I'm tuning into them, they're saying that they want you to give yourself permission to essentially fully express and share this amazing ability that you have to essentially spread joy. Joy is a huge part of your life's purpose. And they're showing us that the only things that can sometimes, maybe delay that or get in the way of that is when life hands you values or lessons or messages that say there are more important things than joy. You've got to be responsible and do your duties and, work hard and X, Y, and Z. The angels are saying that none of those things really are more important than joy. Sure, we all want to, be supporting ourselves, our responsibilities, and, doing good things in our lives, right? But they're there to serve joy. It shouldn't be the other way around ever, where those come at the expense of joy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn over a couple of cards that I just pulled out for you. And today I decided to pull some cards from the Work Your Light Oracle card deck by Rebecca Campbell. I just like these because they're so pretty. The colors and everything, it's just so pretty. And they're really kind of high resonating messages, high perspective types of messages. Okay, beautiful. First card that you got, speaking of ancestors, interesting, is the Break the Chain card. Break the Chain, which usually can actually relate to ancestral thought patterns, ancestral beliefs, or ancestral traumas, maybe even, that have been passed down, essentially the emotional and spiritual and energetic imprints that have been passed down from family members throughout time. And this can also relate to karmas. Now, one thing that the angels actually want to remind all of us of right now is that our ancestral patterns are oftentimes related to our own personal karma. You see, each of us actually chooses the exact ancestry lineage that we are going to incarnate into. And we often do so because they're a perfect compatible match for us. They are a match for us because they can, first of all, help our soul to unlock the lessons that we need to learn in this lifetime, the things that we want to empower ourselves to know and understand and achieve in terms of, again, claiming our consciousness for truth and for love. And also we have the ability to serve them, to serve what's been passed down and shared throughout that lineage and ancestry. So there may be a particular issue, a particular shared thought pattern that you have the power to change or to upgrade in some way. So this is essentially saying that that is a big part of your work. And okay, the specific that's coming in with this from your ancestors and your angels as well is that this does have to do with work, duties, and responsibility versus joy and following your heart. In other words, it seems like there may have been, a few ancestors or a pattern in the past in which members of your lineage had put duty and work and being serious and all kinds of other things before joy, thereby missing out on the point of living our lives. Joy is a big carrier and container for love, and it helps us to expand that realization of love on the earth. So it's a big part of our spiritual purpose, and you have a gift in it. So they're saying that every time you choose what serves joy, you actually complete your purpose, and you rewrite or clear the past patterns of your ancestry and perhaps even past karmic patterns as well. You liberate yourself in the world, in other words. Let's see what the other card here has to say. Okay, this makes perfect sense. You got the Boundaries card as the next card, which is a card that can say that, okay, in order to do this work we're describing, you're breaking the old pattern and you're bringing in joy more, you're going to need to actually practice really strong boundaries. So practice strong boundaries, not only certainly with other people that might try to push their expectations on you in terms of, rewriting your value system where, maybe again, joy is not first, love is not always first. But also holding boundaries within yourself, holding boundaries within your own ego. We all have an ego, and it's not pretty inside any of us, not in me, not in you, not in anybody. And if you can learn to hold boundaries with it, to actively relate with it whenever it's trying to, tell you something that's not true, like telling you, oh, you're no good, or, you should be focused on, something else. You'll be better when you work harder. You'll be better when you da-da-da-da-da. Instead, hold boundaries with ego and tell it, hey, I'm not going to jump down that train of thought with you. I'm standing firmly on the ground right here. You can go by. I'm going to let that train go by me. So boundaries are important. And then your final card is the Council of Light. So this actually takes us full circle, looking at the big divine circle of supporters that you have around you. And what the angels want you to know, again, is that you've got a huge amount of support. So you never have to do anything alone. Call upon the amazing, amazing spiritual support that's around you all the time. And they can help to lead you back to this incredible power that you have and this, again, ability to spread and share joy on the planet. You really have the ability. They just keep showing me the ability that you have to put smiles on other people's faces. And you may even have specific things that you feel passionate about or creative about that help you to bring that joy to other people. If so, do that. Follow your joy. Follow your joy. And thank you, Molly. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another question coming in from CQ, who says, my girlfriend has been having issues with numbness and pain in her legs, probably caused by alcohol neuropathy. I'm just wondering if there are any messages from her angels, guardians, that will help her physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Oh, great. Thank you so much, CQ. And it's so good to connect with you again. I do remember when I actually was able to connect with you and give you a reading, some months ago. So it's really just great to connect with you. So the first thing that the angels are showing us is the bond of energy between you and your girlfriend. And they're definitely showing us that the two of you have been doing a lot to essentially teach one another, to influence and guide one another on this path in life. And they want you to know that that's great. Oftentimes our paths can become intertwined with other people in ways that are amazing. They also want us to remember simultaneously, however, that her spiritual lessons are hers and your spiritual lessons are yours. And so long as you're carrying your own baggage, each of you, along the spiritual path, working to support yourselves the best that you possibly can, and you're infinitely, again, powerful and creative and capable of doing that, then you'll bring great love into this relationship, because relationships are all about holding space for the consciousness of love together. So you never want to do more than your 50% of that side of it, because then we would deprive our loved one of being able to do their side of it, and also be able to realize more of that big love, the miracle of love. So with that being said, I am now tuning into your girlfriend's energy as well, and I'm feeling Archangel Raphael present here, who is our healing angel. And he shows that, he's guiding her and helping her. He's showing us that he's helping her at a physical level. I do see him sending spiritual healing energy into her whole body, again, especially the nervous system here. And he's explaining to us that fear can sometimes take a physical form when we really need to find a very direct way of facing it. So if there's been some kind of a fear-based experience, a fear-based attachment, a way of looking at things where, again, we're cramming ourselves into a small space. We're seeing ourselves as smaller or less powerful than we really are. And that fear has a strong hold on us. Then fear might manifest as something that we can actually feel or see physically within us, or physically maybe outside of us somewhere, so that we can understand it, so that we can awaken to it. It will become evident to us, giving us actually a bigger opportunity to purge it and to release it and to liberate ourselves from it than ever before. So from a spiritual standpoint, from a root level standpoint, the angels are essentially giving the message that they would like to help your girlfriend to go through healing by guiding her to purge and release all attachment to fear, to release all painful attachments to any beliefs in her self-concept that ever in the past in any way made her see herself as anything less than perfect, as anything less than God. She has this power, she has this ability now, and calling in the angels will help with this. Doing inner work to love herself profoundly will help with this, will help her to teach this. On a physical level, the angels are showing us that they're already guiding her on the right track with some action steps that she can take. They're showing us, they're showing us a connection between the brain and the nervous system as well. They're showing us that deep detox is going to be really, really important. So not just when it maybe comes to alcohol, but detox, at many levels. So eating really clean, hydrating really, really well, and also exercising in really, really gentle ways, very therapeutic ways, the ways that we get in, things like yoga and physical therapy. So go down that path, because what Archangel Raphael is showing us can happen for her if she takes these steps is that her brain and nervous system will relearn new patterns, new ways of firing and functioning. New balance can come in. But it will be important to take those action steps, the detox and the therapeutic movement. And of course, self-love. And by the way, those physical action steps are action steps of self-love. So that will help beautifully. And thank you so much, CQ, for sharing this question with all of us. Now let's go to our next question to Jordan. Jordan says, do the angels have any advice on how to handle my executive function issues. I'm tired of procrastinating all the time, even with things that I enjoy doing, and of failing to keep my home neat and organized. But none of the methods that I've tried so far seem to fix the problem. Do the angels have any recommendations? 100% yes, they do. Oh boy. So Jordan, right away, the angels are saying that it's time to let go of perfectionism. It's time to let go of perfectionism. When we have procrastination going on, there's always a very, very direct reason, and it's usually always the same thing or in this same exact vein of thinking. It's because we're holding on to really, really high standards for ourselves with a perfectionistic mindset. And those perfectionistic high standards become terrifying for our inner child, for our inner emotional self. In other words, perfectionism, it comes from fear. It comes from a lack of there being sometimes, an unconditional form of self-love. Perfectionism comes from the fear that if I don't do this perfectly, then there will be less love or less, this or that in my life. But remember, again, everything that we seek is always love. So even if the perfectionist is afraid, well, if I don't do this well, then I'll have less time, on my hands, I'll have less success, or I'll have less money, or I'll have less friends, or I'll have less la 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 la. Really, all that perfectionism is saying is I'm so scared of the lack of fear, or the lack of love, rather. I'm so scared of there being a lack of love in my life. And that perfectionism then has this hold on us where it's putting all these conditions up around us saying, when I do this perfectly, when I do that perfectly, when I work really hard, then I'll have love and everything will be okay. And this is self-pressuring. It's almost like there's self-bullying that comes in where the bar is set so high and the stakes also seem so high that our inner child gets scared and it goes and hides, or the inner self will go and rebel and say, no, anything but that. I don't want to do that. I'm so scared because if I fail, then I won't love myself. If I fail, then, I'm so afraid of the punishment that my, inner perfectionist voice might dole out to me. So that's where that breakage, can occur in the intention of, I want to, have these really strong executive functions. I want to be able to enjoy what I do. I want to keep, everything neat and organized. I want to be a leader. I want to be effective. I want to be assertive. Great. Do all of those things. You can be all of those things. But first, clear the perfectionism and love yourself unconditionally rather than conditionally. Find any little hidden places where the ego might have been doing this out of your mindset, out of your eyes' ability to see. Because a lot of times the ego is operating just behind the scenes, just right out of sight, just in our shadow. So do what you can to clear those things, to love yourself unconditionally. And this is an important one. Give yourself permission to make mistakes and to fail and to be flexible with yourself sometimes. Be an incredibly kind, patient, and loving inner parent to your inner child. And say, hey, it's okay to be human. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be perfect all the time. I'm going to love you no matter what. I'm going to love you whether you fail, whether you succeed. It doesn't matter. Really, you can't fail because as long as you have love, you've succeeded in everything. So I'm going to love you no matter what. Broadcast that message every day, every second, really strong, until it's been internalized as the biggest unconscious value that you hold. And then you'll find actually that it gets much easier to stay on top of things. You'll enjoy doing those things that, maybe before there had been procrastination around them. Thank you so much, Jordan. Let's go to our next question from Kim, who says, do I have any Claire gifts? If so, what are they and how do I make them stronger? Thank you for your question, Kim. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you are interested in opening up your psychic intuitive senses. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the term, Claire gifts, this refers to our ability to clearly see, feel, sense, or know the divine, things that are beyond the physical world. So everybody's usually heard the word clairvoyance, which means clear seeing. But there are also things like clairsentience, clear feeling, clairaudience, clear hearing, claircognizance, which is clear thinking. So the message that the angels are giving you, Kim, as I'm connecting with you, They're showing me incredible creative energy, first of all, really, really creative energy. And I'm getting actually a really beautiful feeling of, okay, you've got several gifts that are working in conjunction. I'm asking the angels which one is leading the pack. Clairsentience seems to right now be one of the strongest of your clairs that's leading the rest of the other clairs. And by the way, we all of us have the ability to actually awaken every single one of those clairs. Every single one, we all have them. It's just that usually we'll have one or two that might fire the rest of the engine and be the leader. I do feel your clairsentience really working, but it also activates clairvoyance. Because I see the ability to just envision beautiful things. Again, a really creative spirit within you. And there's a maybe a visual element that has the potential to come through with that. And it might come through with clairsentience. I also do see claircognizance coming through pretty strong as well sometimes. If you work on it a little bit, if you just pay attention a little bit more to the knowingness, the innate knowingness inside of you that comes behind maybe the feelings that you get. So start with trusting your gut feelings and instincts, and then bring more awareness to the knowingness behind it. That's your claircognizance. To any visions or creative ideas that come in, to any messages that you're hearing too, and you'll see the rest of it actually wake up and start working too. Thank you so much for your question, Kim, and best of luck on the path ahead. It's always exciting to open up your spiritual gifts more and more. Let's go now to Sonia. Sonia says, I appreciate and love you. Oh, I appreciate and love you too, Sonia. She says she's wondering what her angels have for her regarding career and love life. So let's go ahead and pull a card for each area. I'm seeing actually the healing angel around you, Sonia, Archangel Raphael. So he's showing us that there is healing energy actually around both of these areas of life. He's showing us he's bringing healing into your relationship with yourself, which will actually change your perspective of your career and change your perspective of your love life, of relationships as well. So let's turn over the card that represents career first. Aha, okay, this is great. The card says take a break. Yeah. Life moves in cycles and rhythms. Sometimes we're in the season of working really hard and focusing on changing things and going, being really productive and all of that. Sometimes we have to get out of that mindset and go into more of a receptive place. Go into a place where we can allow inspiration to strike before we can actually make career changes. So the angels are saying, be patient, my dear. You do have the ability to make some big career changes and to do some things that feel like they'll make you feel very passionate and that will enable you to actually help other people. But before, driving yourself crazy or considering, lots of things like that, first, the angels want to communicate. Take a break, take a step back, take a beat. There's no need to obsess about it or worry about, things in your career too much right now. Just allow some days, some weeks, maybe even a couple of months to pass where career maybe isn't the number one focal point or even the number two focal point. Let it be a little bit lower on the list for a while and let you be number one at the top of that list. Let your self-love, enjoying your life, discovering who you are, feeling your passions, feeling what you really want and need. Let that take the top spots of your value system right now. And that will actually help to reveal to you a little bit more of the truth with regard to what the next steps are, inspire you and prepare you for the next things that are coming with your career. Let's turn over the card for your love life. Beautiful. Okay, we've got the Priestess card here, which actually, is a card that usually classically represents a couple of things. First of all, it's a leadership and empowerment card. So that says you be the leader when it comes to your love life. You set the values and the tone of what it is you want to experience in terms of your relationship. You be the leader. Ask for what you want. Ask the universe for what you want. And step it up into your inner empowerment. The other thing that the Priestess represents, especially if we're looking at tarot, for example, is patience. So the Priestess is really good at actually being patient and taking her time to just consider all the details before diving in and making a decision, before making some kind of an impulsive action. It's the opposite of that. This is sort of like gather information, observe, witness, Allow wisdom to be revealed as you're looking at each situation in terms of your love life. Take time to listen to the wisdom. That will help you so much with stepping into your empowerment and discerning exactly what you're meant to co-create in terms of your love life, in terms of your best relationship. But it all starts with, again, setting the values of what it is you wish to experience in the relationship. So go ahead and make a list of them. Maybe it's things like, honesty. You want to experience laughter. You want to experience someone who wants to understand you and communicate. Whatever it is for you, write your list of the true inner values. Don't worry so much about the outer values. If I want my partner to have brown hair and to be tall and don't worry about that. Just throw all that out the window. It doesn't matter. And all of that stuff is only going to narrow your perspective. Instead, focus on the deeper stuff, the real stuff, the inner stuff that matters. Focus on those things, hold those values high, and it's going to help to program exactly what you're looking for and what you're then going to be able to recognize in your love life, things that will come out and bring the life that you want to experience there. Shared values is the prerequisite for compatibility, by the way, when it comes to love life. That's the thing. So if you can identify what your values are first, you'll be able to identify what another person's values are and whether or not they're willing to share those values with you. Let that be your guide. Let's go ahead and squeeze in just one more reading real quick for today from Rachel. She says, so wonderful talking to you. Thank you, Rachel. And beautiful podcast today. Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. She says she'll take just a general life advice from the angels if there's some space. Thank you so much, Rachel. Let's go ahead and tune into your angels. I see today Archangel Haniel and Archangel Uriel close to you. Archangel Haniel is the angel of joy, and Uriel is the angel of light. And I'm seeing joy and light coming in and actually bringing greater strength and confidence and leadership into your life. They're showing us that you are highly sensitive. And highly sensitive people, I can relate, I know I'm like this myself, highly sensitive people can sometimes feel a challenge when it comes to dealing with other people's energy. In other words, other people's expectations, feelings, and energies can sometimes feel like such a loud voice, or we feel so sensitive to it that it leads the way in terms of how we decide to interact with people. In other words, sometimes you might find yourself allowing other people's energy to dictate where your energy is going to go when your sensitivity is on that more high alert kind of state. Your sensitivity is a gift. It's incredibly special. It's beautiful. And it has the power to be the leading thing. So the card that I just turned over for you now is the Warrior Woman card, which I love, saying essentially that the beautiful light and joy that they're helping to hold space for around you, your angels, with great strength, they want this to be the standard, the value, the energy that leads everything else that's going on in your life. Every other relationship that you experience, every interaction, you get to be the one that roots into and anchors these things with strength. So in order to do that, hold your own energy, your own state unapologetically. Hold boundaries, certainly, with other people's, feelings and expectations. And call on the angels to help you to root into this, to become that strong warrior woman. Because the more that you anchor and with strength, hold this higher value, this higher energy, then the easier it will actually be for other people to rise up into your standard of vibration, into your energy, so that you don't have to leave your cozy place of joy and light and peace and all the things that you want to hold in the world. You'll be able to hold it, and other people will also be able to perhaps enjoy it and benefit from it too. So thank you very much, Rachel, for your question. All right. Well, it was wonderful to connect with all of you today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are interested in working with me and the angels on awakening your spiritual gifts or on self-empowerment and the true inner work of ascension, then I would love to have a chat with you. I'm actually currently accepting a small number of students to guide through ascension with the angels. And if you'd like to learn more about that, you can click the link that I left for you in my Instagram link tree. If you go ahead and click over to that at Sarah Hall 444. And also, I left that same area for you on my website, sarahhall.com, under Work With Me. So just click Work With Me on sarahhall.com, or you can click the link in my profile on my Instagram at sarahhall44. And by the way, I'd love to keep in touch with you. So do follow me on all the social medias. It's all at sarahhall444 if you type that in. And again, if you'd like to tune in for our next live episode of Through the Eyes of the Angels, then you can mark your calendar for Thursday, February 18th, same time, same place. I'm sending you all of my love, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.